which Our Lady of Guadalupe came in Mexico to crush, and she converted 8 million to the Catholic faith by means of those apparitions. Some of the papal condemnations against Freemasonry, so people know that Freemasonry has always been condemned by the Church. Leo XIII says, quote, "Let no man think that he may, for any reason whatsoever, join the Masonic sect if he values his Catholic name and his eternal salvation," end quote. Under the old code of canon law, anyone who joined the Masons was automatically excommunicated. Leo XIII said, quote, "To join with these men," Freemasons, "or in any way to help them cannot be lawful," end quote. And cooperation between Masons and Catholics could be done only under the strictest of conditions. Leo XIII says, quote, "Those men are like those whom, according to the St. John the Apostle, hospitality and greeting should be denied," end quote. In all, there are more than 200 documents issued by the Vatican that condemn Freemasonry.
You know, Pope Clement XII in 1730 also began the ipso facto excommunication of anyone succumbing, but he also gave an ipso facto excommunication for anyone who associated with the Masons.
Right, exactly. It's that's the severity of what we're talking about. It's a big crime. People have less than that, and of course we're going to show a little later that they fully infiltrated the Catholic Church too. So now some of the Masonic statements against the Catholic Church, because you have a lot of Masons and others say, well, they're not anti-Catholic, and many Masons don't know this. But this all gets back to the main root of our problem. Most people don't know what we're talking about here, and of course Hosea 4:6 in the Old Testament says, "My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge." So because they don't know is not going to help them too much. They're still going to be held accountable because it's still evil. Some Masonic statements against the Church. The Masons used to call their official magazine the New Age magazine, but when the New Age movement got a lot of bad publicity, they changed the name of their magazine to the Scottish Rite Journal because of all the negative things being said about the New Age movement. It's the official magazine of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and it says in the Scottish Rite Journal, quote, "Catholicism, not communism or socialism, is Masonry's immediate worry." The French Grand Orient gave utterance to the following profession of faith in 1885. It said, quote, "We Masons must aim for the complete destruction of Catholicism." A chief in that Masonic Alta Vendita Lodge proclaimed, quote, "Let us conspire only against Rome," end quote. In the stone inscription of the Masonic Grand Orient and Supreme Council of France, it says this, quote, "The fight taking place between Catholicism and Freemasonry is a fight to the very death, ceaseless and merciless." So, and what most people say is if you want to destroy the Church, and if you're against the Church, and you believe that the Church is the true Church that Jesus Christ established, why not infiltrate it? And they have infiltrated it. This is a copy of the May 8, 1991 edition of the Mount Washington Press, a paper near Cincinnati, Ohio. It talks about how the Archdiocese of Cincinnati, Ohio sends all possible candidates for the priesthood to Joseph Wicker. Joseph Wicker is a worshipful master of Mount Washington Masonic Lodge number 642 in Mount Washington, Ohio. That means that he's the president of the Masonic Lodge in his hometown. Mr. Wicker says that he no longer considers himself a practicing Roman Catholic, but practices what he calls Rosicrucian experiments. The Rosicrucians are a Masonic-like group that says everything should be guided by the use of reason. They've been officially condemned by the Catholic Church, and Mr. Wicker also says he believes in reincarnation. So Archbishop Plarchek of the Archdiocese of Cincinnati, Ohio, has a Freemason screen all candidates for the priesthood. Many people say then, well, obviously the Church looks to be infiltrated, and the communists also tell us that this is the case too, that they were told by Moscow to infiltrate the Catholic Church. Mr. Manny Johnson, a former official in the Communist Party in America, gave the following testimony in 1953 to the House Un-American Activities Committee. He said, quote, "The communists discovered that the destruction of religion could proceed much faster through the infiltration of the Catholic Church by communists operating within the Catholic Church itself," end quote. Mrs. Bella Dodd, who spent most of her life in the Communist Party of America and was Attorney General designate had the party won the White House, after her defection from the Communist Party, she revealed that one of her jobs as a communist was to encourage young radicals into the priesthood. And she said that before she left the party in the United States, that she encouraged more than 1,000 young radicals to infiltrate the seminaries and religious orders of the Catholic Church. And she said back then they had risen to the highest places in the Church. And so this is why you don't have any call to conversion. You have no exposure to Masons. And what I'm saying should be said by almost every priest in the United States and throughout the world. It's not said because these people are either direct infiltrators or they just don't care anymore. There's a complete apathy as far as the true faith. This is an interesting picture we have here. This is a grade 6 catechism. It was given to sixth graders across the country. And you can see right here the little dots, the dark dots on this. This is the opening page, as you can see. This is Christ with us. And you have these dark dots all over the page. And of course, the communists are trying to achieve victory over the church. And you can see the dark dots. What's interesting is you line those dark dots up, and what do you get?
Looks like a hammer and a sickle.
Communist, hammer, and sickle. So what they were saying was that they've now achieved victory over the church, and at least they think that. And we know if there's just even a small group with one true priest that upholds the one true faith. That's what St. Athanasius did. Even if the true remnant was reduced to a handful of true believers and, say, one true priest that believed in the true Catholic faith, they remain the true church of Jesus Christ on earth. So, and he said back then, St. Athanasius, during the Arian crisis, that if we have the faith, they have the buildings.
So there's a definite link between Freemasonry and communist philosophical thought patterns.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And we're going to see now this is according to the book